Hello everyone, this is Sonic Goon, coach of the Lansdowne Guzzlords for VPL Season 6. This will be my Week 1 recap of the battle as well as going into the team builder on overall matchup. This week I'm playing Rasta Pasta, coach of the Hudson Heracross. And just looking straight at his team, it's very Gen 5 OU. This was stated by the commissioners in their draft review stream that they did like the day after the draft actually happened. Latios, Extra Drill, Rotom Wash, Shandy just screams classic Gen 5 OU. I doubt in a world that there isn't a bajillion teams with these 4 Pokemon on it. Because these are all scary mons, especially since that was the generation where like Scarf and Specs Rotom was actually a set that was commonly used. And then Latios could run literally anything and things of that nature. Then also Mega Altarius is a huge scary threat because you don't know exactly what the hell this thing's gonna run. It's definitely like jack of all trades, but it's actually even somewhat of a master of some of those trades. So this thing's just a nuisance to deal with. After it's Mega, but before it Megas, it's probably one of the worst Pokemon ever created. Because regular Altaria is not that bulky, and also being Dragon Flying is just not great to switch in on a lot of things. So it really needs to find a safe place to Mega. Venomoth, I'm not super worried about, but like still a Clever Dance user can get out of hand really quickly unless I instantly kill it. So that's just something to worry about. It actually doesn't have Hippowdon or Ivysaur this week, as he made these trades after the trade deadline ended for week 1. So for week 1 he actually had Bisharp and Ariados, which was very confusing because after he drafted Bisharp he went straight for Urshifu Shingle Strike, which I was surprised was undrafted up until this point. But yeah, Bisharp, like I feel like Urshifu just kind of does everything that Bisharp wants to do but better because of its ability, and also Wicked Blow being a guaranteed crit. Dark Stab, it's ridiculous. And Ariados is literally the same typing as Venomoth, so it fills the exact same niches minus Quiver Dance, but plus like Sticky Web, which I don't think this team really needed. And then his final mon is Butterfree, which is actually not that trash of a Pokemon. Because of Boots, this is probably one of the best one-pointers, just because of Quiver Dance plus Compound Eyes Hurricane. And also Compound Eyes boosted any inaccurate move. So that was just something I actually have to think about their 1-point mon going into this week. But not as much as their other Pokemons, to be honest. So first things first, I looked at the team and just thought the only thing that actually speed ties with me, or is faster or speed ties with me, is Latios. So Jolly Mega Gallade kind of wrecks shop, especially with what the hell? Why is that move gone? Oops, that wasn't supposed to be gone. But knock off, bulk up, drain punch, then headbutt. I bulk up against something like, I don't know, Bisharp or Urshifu. If I don't Mega, I think I die to Urshifu anyway, but like I outspeed, kill it with Drain Punch, take back all of its HP. Just a super nuisance to deal with. And if it's not like Specs, Latios knockoff kills, and if he misses like a Draco with Latios, that's unfortunate, but I think that's my only real play against it. Next I have Torrentee. U-turn, Sludge Wave, Hurricane, Heat Wave with heavy boosts, generic, timid, max speed, shenanigans going on really here. But yeah, U-turn just to get some momentum going so I can switch and scout for things. Sludge Wave so I can hit to a KO Mega Altaria if it doesn't have any special bulk or anything. So if this was like an offensive Mega Altaria, actually no, I even think even slightly like support defensive Mega Altaria, it still gets 2KO'd by Sludge Wave. Because from the calcs I was doing, Sludge Wave does minimum 50%, so I 2KO all the time. Hurricane hits pretty much everything else, and then Heat Wave is here for Extra Drill, but I'm really not expecting Extra Drill because I have Gallade, and then also the most common Excadrill switching and Galar Weezing on my team. Next is, and also I have Slowbro. Slowbro is the most common actual Excadrill switching, I guess. That according to the Smogon page, it might have not been updated by this point, but Scald Teleport, Slack Off Toxic. This is literally the Smogon set. Like, I couldn't really come up with anything crazy, and plus I don't really have to go crazy. Because this is just, it just does a lot as a set. Heavy boots, so if he does put down rocks or spikes or anything, I don't get affected by it. Regenerator's a broken ability. Scald burns physical attackers, so like Urshifu. So if he like wants to just hard switch Urshifu in, expecting like a second move, I Scald and burn it. Hopefully, Toxic whittles down most of the defensive mons, and then I slack off any damage that I get dealt before I TP out. Just get the Regenerator later. Here we have Babiri Berry Galar Weezing. This is literally just here, so I have a switch in for Urshifu. Urshifu does so much damage to my team, it's ridiculous, but then I have Galar Weezing with Babiri Berry. So the reason why I have Babiri Berry is because Urshifu has Iron Head. So if he goes for Iron Head, predicting the Galar Weezing come in, I take at most like 37% if it's banded, and then the next Iron Head can't kill me, I think. Or maybe I have my calcs wrong. No, I think it's actually like closer to 27%, around there for Iron Head with Babiri Berry, and then after that's like 60%, so it's not going to kill me, and then I 100% kill with Dazzling Gleam, and that's only if it's banded. If it's not banded, it's doing even less than that. So yeah. So after this point, after that point, I don't really expect it to live, so that's why like these moves are kind of just generic. Defog if he has hazards down, toxic to toxic things, and Sludge Wave to hit Mega Altaria. So yeah, this is literally just here to die to kill Urshifu and then die later. And then here I have a lead Crocodile, just lead with a Focus Sash, knock off anything in front of me if I outspeed it, and then Stealth Rock, Stealth Rock, and then Suicide with a knockoff or whatever. Literally, like, these are the two moves it's going to be clicking anyway. Earthquake and Close Combat are very niche situations if it doesn't actually die in the first 2 turns of the match. And last but certainly not least is Guzzlord, Mom. So this Pokemon was actually a last minute addition. I didn't realize until this point that I don't really have a consistent Chandelure switch in. But with this, I have a consistent Chandelure switch in because I resist both of its stabs. And then I just get to drop a Draco because it's scared of the Dark Pulse and kill things until Mega Altaria Megas, and then in which case I click Switch Wave 1000% of the time because I 3 KO Shandy and it can't do significant enough damage back to me back. And even though he has like a Steel type in Bisharp still takes a massive amount of damage from Specs Guzzlord. This thing does ridiculous amounts of damage. So yeah, that's just basically the team I built. And just to get right into the match, so the 4 that I predicted to come definitely came. So Chandy, Rotom Wash, Mega Altaria, and Latios. He brought Bisharp instead of Urshifu, which I think was a misplay. I think bringing Urshifu would have definitely helped. And then he brought Butterfree, so it was the one pointer I was super worried about because it was either Butterfree or Venomoth. So he brought Butterfree. So again, but I'm still thinking, okay, lead Crocodile still works here, so I lead Crook and knock off because I'm thinking if this is Scarf Rotom or Specs Rotom, getting rid of its item's huge because then I can just rocks after it procs my Focus Sash, but instead he goes for Will-O-Wisp, but I'm fine because it's literally just a sack Crocodile. So I knock it off and click Rocks, so this thing has done its job. And I just get to go straight into Guzzlord and eat that Volt Switch for days and drop a Draco. And here you get to see exactly how much damage that Draco did. This is resisted hit. That did 66%. At -2, I actually do kill with Draco here, but I was super worried about Brick Break or Low Kick or something along those lines, so I just go straight into Galar Weezing. And he uses Iron Head, so that's a dead Galar Weezing even after the Babiri Berry. I do not live that 2 KO because of stab. So here I go for a pretty nice play. I bulk up here just to get a free bulk up because he has to go for Sucker Punch there. Then I go for Drain Punch. Here you go, Shandy. This pretty much just screamed at me after he took rocks damage that he's either Specs or Scarf. So I have no reason to stay. If he's and like I can't risk Scarf because if he's Scarf, he kills me with Shadow Ball. So I have to switch back into Guzzlord, but this thing takes 22% from Scarf, Chandelier, Shadow Ball, and I definitely kill with Dark Pulse here. But I wanted to drop a Draco again because there's no reason not to. And I kill the Rotom Wash. So despite losing 2 Mons very early on, I tied up the Mon differential very quickly, and I'm looking pretty good. So here I go into Slowbro because I was predicting, like, I was thinking maybe this is like running Body Slam Altaria just because I don't think an offensive to Altaria would really work. And even if it's offensive to Altaria, those usually are like either DD or Calm Mind or something along those lines. So I either Calm Mind, if he's Calm Mind, I Toxic. If he's DD, I just spam Scald until he gets burned. So here he just goes for Defog, revealing that he is actually support Altaria. And he starts going for the Body Slams as, you know, for support. So I get why he brought, you know, Body Slam, because of 30% chance to paralyze, cripples Torrentee and Gallade to the point where they're actually completely useless on my team. So yeah, bringing support with Body Slam is definitely a really good bring on his end. But again, I think I win this 1v1 because, like, he doesn't do that much damage to me. I have way more chances to status him than he has to heal them off. And if he runs out of heal bells, I 1000% spam Toxic until it gets Toxic, and then this thing is basically dead. So now he's taking a lot of hit from Burn, and he goes right into Latios. I should have probably TP'd there, actually, but I was super worried of him going for something else. But again, TP means I always take the hit, and then I go into whatever. So now that he's now he just got this free Latios, I have to TP here. And I was hoping that he was revealed that he was Specs, and he would go right for Draco or something. But instead he's Calm Mind Leftovers. So this is really bad. I have to win the speed tie here, or else I lose. Because I could have, like, gone into Torrentee and used U-turn, but I think, yeah, I do less than... I 3 KO from this range, so I literally would have to pick a sack and just win with Torrentee from here, and I don't think I would have been able to. So I win the speed tie, unfortunately for him, actually. But yeah, there's nothing really I could do there. If I lost the speed tie there, I lost the game. So yeah. Here I go into Torrentee because this is pretty much, like, I don't really have to worry about outspeeding anything at this point because I don't really know what Butterfree Sets is. I'm assuming it's and I'm also predicting him to go for, like, Roost, just because he's probably scaring out my weeb shit or something. And then here I reveal Sludge Wave as he goes for another Heal Bell, which is probably a misplay on his part. I think he should have fished for the Body Slam para because it was literally all he could do. And because I'm 2 KO this guarantee, he switches out into Shandy to take the Sludge Wave. And unfortunately gets Poison, which actually puts it in a really bad range because now I get to go into Guzzlord and click Sludge Wave for free. Because Sludge Wave, even at this range, kills both Shandy and Altaria, so no matter what, he has to pick a sack. And then at 2 KOs Butterfree. So no matter what, things are getting really damaged. Here he goes right into Butterfree. He has to go for his win con, which is put something to sleep, force me to switch and get a free Quiver Dance off. And he luckily hits the compoundized sleep powder, so now I'm, like, super terrified because I could definitely lose to this 1-point Mon. And he goes for the Quiver Dance, and here he reveals that he is actually Modest Butterfree. Modest Butterfree is really bad here because I'm pretty sure plus Timid Hurricane still kills me and 2 KOs me. So I don't know why he was Modest, because he definitely now underspeeds my Torrentee by a pretty significant amount, like 20 points of speed. And unfortunately, he misses his Hurricane anyway, which I think is a 7% chance to miss because it's 93% accurate after the compound boost accuracy raise. So yeah, that was super unfortunate on his end. Just like all the hacks after that speed tie was super salt in the wound, because I feel like even then I could have things to play around this, but that was super just unfortunate to see. But yeah, then he goes into his Scar Chandelier, Fire Blast my Torn T, and I just go for the Sludge Wave because it hits, and then Poison Tick kills it. So yeah, GG's to Rasta Pasta. That was a pretty well played match. I don't really think either of us made any real errors. It was just more of a who does the simulator actually favor today, and luckily it blessed me with good speed tie wins and hacks. So yeah. Things I learned from this match probably is that, man, Guzzlord is surprisingly bulky. It also just is really scary to deal with because it kind of forces switches and then it just kind of hits really hard. I also learned that you should probably click TP a bit more freely with Slowbro. There are definitely more chances against in the 1v1 against the Megalotharia where I could have just TP'd out and gone like into Gallied and gone for Zen Headbutt and probably killed it. Or gone into Torn again and just spam Sludge Wave there. So yeah. Another thing I noticed is I think that one of the things I think I did well, I think my early game was pretty solid. The first two turns in general, just because like going for knock first was very smart, because if he was Scarf for Specs, Rotom, getting rid of that item would have been huge offensively, and then getting rocks down guaranteed because now it's slower than me would have been phenomenal to have. But so I think I played the early game pretty well, and then the mid to late game was pretty shaky, but after things went in my favor with that speed tie, it was pretty set in stone for I was going to probably win this. So yeah, GG's to Rasta Pasta again. I think, again, we played phenomenally. I think this was probably one of the more solid matches from week one, just because we were both pretty evenly skilled in terms of like predictions and prep. Wasn't really sure why Buzzsharp came over Urshifu. I guess because you wanted to guaranteed kill Galar Weezing, but like you also had a Psychic type in Latios that kills Weezing, so I was really confused about that. But yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks I don't record these at 4:30 in the morning. But yeah, so apologies if this is a bit more rambly than normal, because it's very late at night, actually early in the morning. So yeah. Guess I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully I'm not sleep deprived or anything of that nature.